What a beautiful way to welcome you to day 5 of the new China series. Oh, this fantastic music. Perhaps for those in the know, this might give you a clue as to where we are. Us on the southeast route today, we're coming to you from Gulangyu Island, just off Xiamen. Nothing more than an 8-minute ferry ride in Shanxi Province. This really special island has some fantastically unique features. Among them, it's pedestrian only, no cars. It is a World Heritage Site. It's home to only about 20,000 people, but attracts 10 million visitors to its shores every single year. And interestingly, it's the only place in China with a piano museum.
That's right. It's lovely that you mentioned it's an island of music, to be honest. And here you're going to start with the music. And this actually is a family music performance. So do they do that regularly? And how long they have been doing this? Do they belong to any particular troupe? So on this very fascinating and beautiful island.
It's really amazing. You know, we've just taken a small drive around the island and we've seen some really interesting architecture, different styles reflected from here. And as you're saying, of course, this being a music island, a music family, really quite a privilege to be able to hear this wonderful music on Gulangyu Island.
That's true. And they're playing all kinds of different instruments, right? I think they're in their 50s or something, all of them. They have the little guitar, also the wine guitar and the violin, and all kinds of instruments, right?
Now, of course,
okay,
we're listening to
talk to them.
saxophone there.
Okay,
yes.
There is a saxophone over there, right in the corner. Anyways, it's amazing.
Really,
so what's
really
music
amazing.
then?
I love it.
Yeah, I really want to talk to them.
Please, let's.
Yeah, about the music they're doing right now. Okay. Here we are. We're officially in the room with all of the artists playing music here, right? So I'm curious about the instrument and also how often they do this family music show. Are they family actually? Let's go ask one of them.
And if they're, yes, please. And if they're
Okay,
based
yes.
on the island.
Okay, so here we
that was
are.
beautiful.
Bravo.
Thank you
very much. So here we are in this
wonderful.
room with the artists. I'm so honored to be here today.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm really curious about this family show. Let me go talk to one of them.
Let's find out
Okay.
more.
So this is a family show, right? And then, so you're all family members in this room and playing the musical instruments every day very regularly, right? So can I talk to you? 这是一个家庭音乐会。每个都是家庭成员在这里玩。
是朋友，家庭的成员也有朋友，在一起弹音乐。
Okay, so you are basically friends, all of them.
Ah,
But
right.
this is very much like a big family, I would say, right?
Are they,
Okay.
are they based on the island? Is the island a place they consider home?
Yeah, okay. So this is the question. 你们都住在这个岛上吗？
我们都是住在岛上的居民。
So they're all the permanent residents here.
Oh, wow.
That is beautiful.
That's amazing.
So I'm wondering, how often do you do the music shows? 我们多长时间有一次这样的表演？
没有固定，但是经常有这种表演，没有固定就不定时的。
Okay. So it is not fixed, but they have their music shows all the time.
Perhaps you can share with us a little bit about why this is known as the island of music. What's the history behind the love of music here?
Yeah. The same for me. Okay, so 鼓浪屿岛呢，它是一个音乐之岛，就是为什么它是一个音乐岛？ And in the past, back in the 1950s, right, it is called the island of the pianos because in every household you have one piano at least, and there is a pianist in each household. That's just amazing, right? Okay, 鼓浪屿岛50年代的时候，它是有钢琴之岛著称，是这样的吗？
它这个不是50年代，这个可能20-30年代就很多国外的这种音乐文化就进来了。 那是在那个新中国成立之前，就有很多人弹钢琴，也涌现了很多那个钢琴的这种专业的人士。
Okay, so back in the 1920s, actually, not about the 1950s, way before that, there's lots of, like musicians, artists, they came into these islands and they had this culture. That is amazing.
And it's amazing that they've maintained it for
That's
so
great.
long. It's really wonderful. I think I'd feel right at home in this place.
That's right. So it's a very cozy place. Imagine on this island
Exactly.
and you live here permanently. And on way here on the ferry, and you said that you really want to live on this island.
I
Right?
could easily live on an island like this.
And
But
commute
yes,
between.
Yeah, it's a good life here.
Yeah, the land and this island that is isolated. So that's
Well,
amazing. Okay, I think that is all for us for the first part, of course. And now let's check in with our colleagues in Southwest. And so Sean and Taoyuan, please take it over. Of course, this is the Mid-Autumn Day, and probably after that, after this comes back to us again, we're going to have some mooncakes.
Absolutely. We'll see you soon.
One. Hello, hello. We're finally here in Sichuan. This is our, fifth day of our new China adventure?
We're closing in on halfway.
We are closing in on the halfway mark, but this is our first day in Sichuan Province, and I've been living here for the past 3 years. Talk about tradition. Sichuan is one of the most culturally rich provinces in China, and one form of art is called the face changing. So I don't want to spoil anything for you, Sean, but this is, for a first-timer, this might look like a miracle.
Yeah, we're talking something very theatrical, but quite frankly, I've seen her face change quite a bit over the last 24 hours. But we'll get to that in just a minute. But I want to bring in our guest, Shu Daijun.
Mr. Xu, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for coming. I want to ask her just a brief question about what we're going to see.
Why don't we do that later?
Okay.
Because I think the audience are dying to see this.
I know I am.
Just look at this colorful costume. So, Mr. Xu, the floor is yours. 您这边开始表演，谢谢。
That is amazing. Well, he does it flawlessly. Amazing.
看看看，技术快如电，快如电，看，变变变，好潇洒，好浪漫。说是不知，那是不瞒，难着不会，会着不难。30岁你远看近看，前看后看，近看短看，左看右看，上看下看，环看四看，颜色好帅新鲜。人变化成大脚神气火箭，白蓝简直变化多端，专注锤炼，技巧不断发展，跟谁救援，老辈子代代相传。变脸，变脸，变脸，变脸，变脸，变脸， 新鲜。绕口一段，面孔多变周全，今一代，中国春之前，名扬四海。
Mr. Xu, if I may， 徐先生，能过来简单的跟我们说两句吗？ Okay, so do you know out of all the masks that just went on his face, which one is the one that I love the most? 你知道你刚才那么多层面具，我最喜欢的是哪一个吗？
哪一张？
这一张 ，this one.
Very good.
Okay, thank you so much for your performance. That was absolutely amazing. How did you feel about it, Sean?
That was wonderful. I'm also curious about the mask on the fan. If you could maybe just tell us about that, because we saw those as well.
Okay. Let me just translate for you, because my colleague Sean, 他其实对这个扇子上的面具他就已经觉得很神奇了。
是的。
这个扇子上的有什么故事？您可以告诉我们吗？
这个扇子上就相当于是个平时的，就是两张一个，根据自己演员的，就是脸谱上面的要求，可能说在打斗的时候，就比如方说，遮脸的时候，因为我下一张的面孔说不定就会是这上面的面孔。哦。突然就跟观众的视觉观念。 就是出了一个，就是相当于更贴上去似的。
Okay, so sometimes he would wear a mask on his face that looks exactly like this. So the previous layer comes out, then the next layer actually shows the exact same one with it is on the fan. So that's visually that's actually quite interesting to look at. But I'm wondering, I know this is a trade secret and you're not allowed to tell anyone, but what can you tell us, even just a little bit? 就是我知道这个是您的行业秘密哈，就怎么变脸，这个是行业秘密。能不能有没有一小点点的可以给我们透露？
就是让大家多练，然后秘密这方面的东西可能是亲传才会得到秘密的机会，就是说，但是对外肯定这是我们中国的国粹艺术，所以说。 不会就是对外宣传。
Oh, he's a smart one. He answered the question, but he didn't really answer the question. He said it's still a secret. The trick is to practice. 要练多少年？你练了多少？
我练了有12年。
He's been doing it for 12 years already. He said it just takes a lot of practice, but he can't tell us anything because this is also a Chinese cultural heritage.
Exactly. Can you tell us when it began, what period in history, and what was the attraction? What made Mr. Xu want to get involved in this?
Okay. 能不能给我们讲一下变脸的历史？然后您个人的话是为什么会从事上这个行业？您喜爱它的地方是什么？
我从事变脸这个行业也是因为自身就是说也是一名演员，所以说对本地人，作为我们川剧是我们四川的一种绝技，就是在川剧里面的一个比较突出的一个表演方式，所以说觉得在四川这边，我觉得我喜欢一个变脸，但是我就自己学，包括去找各个。 包括彭登怀大师都去学习过，跟他一块儿受过益，让他教过我，就自然的话，我自己也得自己提升也在。
He said because face changing, or in Chinese it's called 变脸, is such an integral part of the Sichuanese culture, and he as a Sichuan local himself just got interested in this type of art form and felt a kind of responsibility to help preserve it. So he actually went to the face changing, the 变脸 master to learn the craft, and he's been at it for 12 years.
Amazing.
So no wonder he's so good. 真的很精彩。 That was an amazing show.
It really was.
Thank you so much.
Presence too was just wonderful.
Yes, yes. 他说很有现场感。
谢谢。
好的。好。So with more about the arts
China.
and tradition, the new China. You do your commercial first. You do your promo first.
Well, we're just keeping the new China this trip going. We've been on the road 5 days. We're going to do 12. We started in Gulangyu Province, then zipped through Yunnan Province. It's massive size. Came in here, Sichuan Province, about 2 hours or so ago.
2 hours or so.
And we're talking about everything. We're talking about culture, history, progress in areas, and of course
economy.
We're going to talk to our two experts, Victor Gao. Chen Jiaha, again, gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
So, Victor, he wouldn't let us know anything about face changing. What do you know? I mean, the secret behind face changing.
Well, first of all, face changing is a very important part of local Sichuan style theatrical performance. And I would say for each mask that he will reveal to you would indicate one particular role. and one particular character.
In the Sichuan
And
opera.
in the Sichuan opera, and for one single actor to give out, 6 or 8 or even 10 faces, for example, meaning he's playing 6 or 8 or 10 different roles in one person during one performance. And it's a combination of theatrics, for example, drama, history, and you name it. So it's a very consolidated performance. And I think local people really like it because for each a mask or each face, for example, it indicates that you need to perform a particular role. Right. And given different challenges, different circumstances, one person or one society, one civilization, one country may play different roles under different circumstances. This is the challenge.
Well, you gentlemen have both been playing a wonderful role for us, that of analyst. Mr. Chen, I want to ask you what you thought, firstly, of the performance. And secondly, how important is it to preserve this rich culture, keep it going in an area like Sichuan?
Well, the performance is amazing. I mean, obviously, that gentleman has been doing that for many years. You can just tell that. I mean, I personally been doing martial arts for like 15 years. I know that you can tell the person's performance through his movements and the influence of that. Regarding the preservation of the culture, I think China is actually entering the period that we are more capable of preserving the culture that we had before, because previously, China was working on per capita GDP like $3,000 or $4,000, which is not much. But now China is going to enter the area of $10,000 per capita. That means more people have the leisure and the time to do non-production things. I mean, non-industrial or agricultural production things, cultural things, so that in the future you will be able to see much more culture spring out of the societies.
Victor, did you want to add something?
Yes, you mentioned a trade secret. I would say probably these performers and their theaters should apply for intellectual property rights and get this face changing really protected.
Definitely.
And this is the best way to make sure that these heritages can be well preserved and they can be disseminated more and more, not only throughout China, but also throughout the world. And I hope a global audience will really like this kind of face-changing performance.
Definitely.
Because it's really fascinating. I'm made breathless by the excellent performance just now.
In a way, I think you almost don't want to know the secret behind it because it just ruins the fun.
Even if I knew, there's no way I could do it, so it ends there.
Just keep it a wonder, right?
Yes, we always pretend we do not know.
And I want to.
We are surprised.
And this is also kind of special. If you look, some of the local residents just came out because this is a wonderful treat for people to get to see. It's
Absolutely.
It's not just like they're doing it for us. Anytime something like this happens and unfolds live, it's wonderful for people to get to see.
Right, exactly. So as I was telling you before, Sean, this is actually a type of grassroots performance. So you wouldn't see it in high-end theaters or any places like that. You see it in tea houses and just those lowly, so-called lowly grassroots places. But tea house is also a very, very important part of the Sichuanese culture. And when I said tea house, it's not the kind of coffee shop tea house that you're imagining. It's this noisy, loud place, probably in a park or on the side of the street, where you sit on bamboo seats and just chat, and the noise is just wonderful. You can do matchmaking, you can trade goods, it's like a small society.
That's really wonderful.
And we're going to check out some of the places, some of the tea houses, once we get to Chengdu, which is the provincial capital of Sichuan Province, and that's actually where every local culture comes alive. Every local culture is in display. So Victor, what are some of the things that you look forward to doing in Chengdu? Because just now you said Chengdu is a paradise.
Of course, I like Chengdu. I actually own a piece of property in Chengdu, so you can see the degree how much I love the city.
Well, I have a place to stay next time I come back.
Yes, and I have relatives living there. I have best friends living in Chengdu, etc. You're absolutely right. Living pace, for example, in Chengdu is more leisurely, and it's slower compared with, let's say, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, or Beijing. And people in Chengdu really have the fame of really enjoying life. They really spend so many hours, commingling with the friends, with the relatives, etc. That's the wonder of Chengdu.
Right.
And we appreciate, as always, gentlemen, your counseling, your information passed on. We've been here just a short while. We're going to talk more about agriculture. We're going to talk about the steel industry here as well. But right now, we're going to throw it to our wonderful colleagues in the southeast. Zhenhua and Lindy, amazing performance here. Let's see some more diversity down in your area.
Thank you very much, Sean and Yuan, and this is Mid-Autumn Day, and thanks a lot for bringing us this face changing show, or mask changing show actually.
That sounds fascinating, right?
Yeah, that's very traditional in Sichuan, the place they are in right now. This is Mid-Autumn Day, and of course, what do we have today?
Mooncake's coming up later, but for now?
But for now, let's cross over to our reporter Hu Chao, who is now in Shanxi. And that place is also very special when it comes to Mid-Autumn Day celebration. Now, Hu Chao, take it over and show us what we have over there.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm CGTN reporter Hu Chao. I am in a nation town in the city of Xinzhou in North China's Shanxi Province. As you can see, this Asian town looks very beautiful. Actually, it has a history of thousands of years, and it has just been made into a scenic spot like this in recent years. It opened in this July. As you can see, many people have come to here to have fun. And of course, I have to say that today is an important day. It's the Mid-Autumn Festival. And we know the Spring Festival in China is the most important occasion. And the Mid-Autumn Festival is the second grandest festival in China. So why it is so important? Because it is an occasion for the family to get together and talk to each other and have a very good time together. So talking about the festival, we are going to explore how local people are making the mooncakes. So on Mid-Autumn Day, Chinese people will eat mooncakes and also will watch the beautiful full moon together. So now let's take a look at how they are making the mooncakes here. As you can see, this store, there is written the Shanxi mooncake. Actually, the brand of Shanxi is one of the most famous brands for making sweet pastry here in Shanxi Province. And this is the boss of this store. So, what are you doing now? 就你现在在做什么？
和着月饼皮的面。
Well, obviously she is kneading the flour into a bond to make the mooncakes. What kind of ingredients have you put into these? 就是你用了什么样的这个
材料？
对。
这就是用的那个咱们普通的面粉、低筋粉，还有就是亚麻籽油。就这两种。对。
亚麻籽油挺特殊的，是不是？
这亚麻籽油就是咱们新州话叫胡麻油。就是咱们新州的自己产的一种。
Well, she said this is just ordinary flour, but she adds some special oil, a local produced oil named Hu Ma oil. Actually, it's linseed oil. 就是胡麻油。对。How long will you need this flour? 就是你要和多长时间？
这个面和的时间越短越好。一般就是在3到5分钟之间。
Well, 3 to 5 minutes, the sooner the better. 那您就继续和吧。So here we can take a look at the products here. This is the mooncake. As you can see, they have different shapes. And this one, it's like an old man wishing all the good for the future, and also this one looks like a peach, right? And there are some Chinese characters written on it, like this one. It's shou in Chinese, means wishes for longevity. And this one is a fish mooncake, very cute ones, and many children love mooncakes like this. So, and also today is a special day. Many local people, some teachers from a local school, they come here to take part in the mooncake making. 现在是不是就可以发面了呀？ Okay, now they will, this mooncake store will distribute the fillings of the mooncake and also other materials for mooncake making. 那我们就开始发这个馅儿是吧？哈。So take a closer look at the fillings. Guess what they are? 老板，这个大概介绍一下这个馅儿都是由什么做的 ？Could you please introduce what are these fillings are made?
用什么做的？用那个芝麻、红油、花生。
Well, sesame and of course linseed oil and peanuts.
白糖、红糖。
Well, white sugar and black sugar.
就这些。
Okay, it seems that's all. And I also see some dried fruits in it. 还有一些就是果脯是吧？How long it takes to make the fillings? 就是做这个馅儿要大概有多长时间？
做馅多长时间？做馅，那可以做馅儿。你调这个馅儿吧。
对。
基本上半个来小时就好了。
半个来小时。
对。咱们里边就是把这个花生、芝麻、葡萄干、果脯、玫瑰这些东西，还有咱们原来的底面，就是烤熟的面。
Well, there is also rose petals and raisins in the fillings, and it usually takes about half an hour to make them. 就是咱们，那么现在就是要进行一个给他们把这个馅儿分发一下哈。So what's the features of the Shanxi mooncake? Because we know Shanxi is very famous mooncake brand. 就是我们知道咱们这特别有名的一个这个月饼的牌。咱们的月饼有什么特点呢？
月饼就是味道独特，就是香酥。
It smells good and it tastes crispy and also soft.
是吧？对，香酥的，对。
Because we know that many mooncake taste really sweet. Is it same with your mooncakes? 就是很多月饼尝起来特别的甜，你们的会很甜吗？
这个都有那个配料的搭配，配方基本上不是太甜，不像咱们买的那种成品月饼的话，就是成品馅儿的话就会很甜。这个就是咱们自己配的，糖是咱们自由搭配，就可以做的不甜，可以不是太甜。
While the Shanxi mooncakes are genuine handmade mooncakes, and they're not too sweet and not too greasy, so the taste is good. And also here we see many molds like this. This is one of the molds. I think the last step is to press the mooncake into this mold and press them into any images that you like. And this one is a fish, and there are many other images like this. It looks like a child god, right? And also this, we just saw a peach with the Chinese character "shou" on it, means longevity. And of course this one is a plastic one, and there is this Chinese character "fu," means good luck and fortune. Okay, here the mooncake making activity has just begun. And they also wear this plastic okay, here we can take a look. As you can see, they knead these fillings into a ball, a round shape. Excuse me, is this the first time that you make a mooncake?
对对，是第一次，第一次做这个月饼，第一次。
Oh, it's her first time. So you can speak English, right?
a little.
A little. So how many mooncakes are you going to make today?
对对，要
Thousands.
So you're going to make 1,000 ones?
Of course. To fit all the China, yeah?
Okay, please say hi to an audience and make
Hi.
a bit introduction. Here, look at the camera.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm happy to be here and I make these mooncakes for all the China, yeah?
Is it your first time?
Of course, yeah.
Do you like eating mooncakes?
I will try.
Have you ever tasted any of them?
No, it will be my first time when I try it. Yeah.
So, I think you guys are really doing great.
Thank you.
So you're all first time making mooncakes, okay? So sorry, what's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan. Okay, Ethan. How much do you know about China's Mid-Autumn Festival?
I know that it's very important holiday for China, yeah? After Chinese New Year. And I think that's all what I know about it. Maybe you will tell me about it.
Yes, it's a very important occasion in China because family members get together on this special day. So, where are you from?
From Canada.
From Canada. Is your country having similar holidays?
I think something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you help me.
What about you? This is your first time making mooncake?
My name is Kate. I don't know.
It's your first time.
Do you think it's difficult?
Oh?
Do you think it is difficult?
No, I think it is very
Easy.
easier.
Yeah.
Easier.
Yeah, I think. Because we have a great assistance, yeah, to make those mooncakes. That's all?
So, what are your plans today? Because it's a special occasion today. Are you going to celebrate this day together?
I hope so, yeah. I hope so.
Can you try?
Oh, it's ready.
Is this done?
Yeah.
It looks beautiful. But a little greasy, right? Because there is some oil in it.
You know what we should do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like this.
And?
And
Well, how do you think their skills at making the mooncakes? 您觉得他们做的好不好呀？
做的挺好，都是虽然都是新手，但是做的挺好的。
Well, the boss said they're doing great, although it is their first time.
We are a team.
And let's talk to this little girl here. Hello, 你好. How old are you? She's quite shy. How old is she?
She's 4.
4 years old. 是第一次做 her first time making mooncake?
I think so.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Wow, so how many have you guys already finished? 3, right? 3. So this is another mold. Yeah, the 4.
Wow. Well done, kid.
And actually, the mooncake in Shanxi is the Jing style mooncake, means Shanxi style mooncakes. And we also know there are a variety of mooncakes in China, like the Beijing style, Su style, and the Guang style. And these different kinds of mooncakes share different tastes and different looks. Yes. So for this one, as you can see, they have quite dense skin. Well, this one looks special. Yeah.
Daniel, your name. Put your name there. You will eat that one, right? For Daniel. For Daniel.
So you can actually try to make some mooncakes at your home.
Hello.
Okay.
我可以参与吗？
Okay. Well, I'm afraid I have to say goodbye to you. That's all for the moon making activity here in this Asian town in the city of Xinzhou in North China, Shanxi Province. And I'm reporter Hu Chao. Thanks for watching and happy Mid-Autumn Festival. And don't forget to download our CGTN app and also find CGTN at our global multimedia platforms like the Twitter, Facebook, and also the Sina Weibo. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Hu Chao, coming to us there, of course, from Shanxi Province. And I tell you one thing that's better than making mooncake. I'm sure it's tasting it.
Tasting
and I can't wait
right.
to do that a little later. Well, you're still with us here on Gulangyu Island, a really fascinating place to explore here in Xiamen. And one of the more interesting ways to explore it is to perhaps dig into not only the history of this province, but of course the entire country. So we find ourselves now at a very special place. In fact, the Forbidden City in Beijing has created another place to store artifacts and really share the history of China with as many people as possible. And that's right here in what's known as the Palace Museum. It stores artifacts from all over the world, things that were gifted to China, things that were bought by Chinese leaders in previous dynasties. And these include artifacts from all over the world, like from Germany, from England, from Switzerland, France. It's really quite amazing.
Okay, I think so. And today, in order to know more about the history of the first branch of the Chinese Palace Museum, or the Forbidden City as we call it, in Beijing, okay, we have Andy Mock, our old friend. Okay, so Andy, first, before we go into the museum to check out the treasures, so tell us something about the history of this first museum, the first branch of the first branch of the Palace Museum.
Sure. Well, in fact, this is one of the stops I'm personally most excited by, because the Palace Museum in Beijing is one of the most important museums in the world, like the Louvre in Paris, like the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. It is a cultural and historic powerhouse. So, Jianhua, you mentioned we're here in Gulangyu at this partnership museum. And one thing that's so important about this museum is that we all know about the economic miracle in China, where China's lifted more than 800 million people out of poverty and contributed more to the prosperity of the world than any other country in modern history. But China's government also knows it's not just enough to feed the bodies of the people, but the government also needs to feed their souls.
Yeah.
And by bringing these objects together, it's really feeding the souls, nourishing people's souls to let them learn, be inspired about the world around them, their history, their culture. So I'm really, really excited to be here.
So we're coming to feed our soul today,
And I
right?
think it's going to feed our minds too, right?
Yeah.
Later we'll feed our bellies, but that's the mooncakes that are
That's
coming.
the mooncake.
Andy, one last question though. Why do you think they've decided to place it here in Xiamen, this museum?
No, that's a great question, because Xiamen is actually a very, very international city. So we know from the days of the Qing dynasty that this was one of the treaty ports. But also, it's been a launching pad for overseas Chinese to go all around the world, Southeast Asia, North America, Africa. So this is, I think, a perfect spot for a museum like this.
Oh, Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Andy. So what we have today, because we came here first, like, I came here first, like, this is my second time to be here, right? And I knew there were so many treasures, like the clocks, like grandfather actually.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. And here it is.
This is really, really
This
amazing.
is amazing.
Wow, this is absolutely fantastic.
It's made of gold. Detailed introduction to the clock here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Let me hold that for you, if you don't mind.
When we take a look at this clock, you will see the big size of the clock, right? Detail.
In 70 years, China has undergone unprecedented transformation. From its old industrial base in the northeast to its new manufacturing powerhouse in the southeast and to its emerging southwest. CGTN offers you a panoramic view of contemporary China. Our crews will travel along 3 different routes and come to you live from dozens of locations and free mobile studios. Join us for an all-inclusive look at China on our TV channel and digital platforms, September the 9th to the 20th. It is New China, then and now, in celebration of the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China, only on CGTN. In 70 years, China has undergone unprecedented transformation. From its old industrial base in the northeast to its new manufacturing powerhouse in the southeast and to its emerging southwest. CGTN offers you a panoramic view of contemporary China. Our crews will travel along 3 different routes and come to you live from dozens of locations and free mobile studios. Join us for an all-inclusive look at China on our TV channel and digital platforms, September the 9th to the 20th. It is New China, then and now, in celebration of the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China, only on CGTN.
We do apologize for that break in transmission. It seems that the connection here is not that stable as we enter into that museum. It's a pity though, because there's so many amazing things that we wanted to show you. But let's pick up where we left off with Miss Lee describing that incredibly beautiful clock that came from Britain, you mentioned.
Yeah, this one is from Britain actually, but it's not very the same as the others, but this one is an official acquisition from the overseas country, because at that time the imperial palace also have bought some kind of very special artifacts from the other country, like the clock we have just seen. So this one is purchased during the Qianlong reign, and the Qianlong emperor himself liked this kind of decoration, luxurious decoration, and also this kind of automatically mechanism very much. So actually the elephant will just wiggle its trunk, and also the tail of the elephant can also move. So it's very interesting to visit when you see this clock is just wind up. Yeah.
So I noticed there were so many different animals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the clock or was the clock made for China or tailor-made for China back then because they saw ghosts? And I could also see the dragon like in the UK.
Actually, my first thought was that because it was made in Britain, that it was reflecting their colonial power. Sort of going to India, the elephants.
If you pay more attention to the figures on in this clock, you will see the people there, like Roman soldiers and also Indian soldiers. So at that time, the British country want to show the power itself, just to reflect the power on this clock. And also when we pay attention to the plants and animals, you will see there also exotic plants and animals outside of Britain. So they just combine all these things together in one clock.
Okay.
Yeah. But also when you pay attention to the dragon, actually this is British dragon. It's not a dragon in Chinese culture. So the emperor himself liked this kind of exotic feeling when the dragon that he can recognize, but with an exotic touch. This is the one novelty in the palace in the Forbidden City like very much.
Yeah, since we couldn't go into that museum because of the signal, because of the techno error, so can you tell us more about the treasure that we have, like the gifts from some other countries back then in the 18th century?
In the 18th century, we mainly see automatic machine, as we have just seen the clock, and also we see the music box, which just bury the music melody from China itself. But the music boxes themselves are made in Switzerland. This is very interesting musical globalization history. Yeah, actually, the Puccini, who made the Turandot, just based the melody from one Chinese music box made in Switzerland, because he just heard about the melody inside, and he just created a Turandot.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we do know, of course, that Gulangyu Island receives about 10 million tourists every year coming from all different parts of China. Just a very quick question. Tell us a little bit about the visitors that come here. How many people come visit the Palace Museum?
You mean the Lisbon Gallery? Usually we have around 200 to 300 people come to to this museum daily, but only for the holidays. So for the daily basis, we have around 100 visitors around here.
Okay, I think we need to talk to some of them, right?
Let's do that.
Yeah, this is the tourist spot. Definitely. We see a family. This is a family. Do you want to talk to them? Are you shy?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm just assuming that they might not be speaking English, so I just thought you might want to introduce us before I,
let's go. Anyway,
throw people off.
And of course, if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm going to translate for you. Okay. Hi, how are you? How are you? How are you? 你好, how are you? How old are you? Yeah.
Shake my hand.
Okay, so this is a tourist city, and not a city, but an island, right?
Yes.
And then, so where are you from? Can you tell us? Okay. So do you speak English? No. Chinese. 您是从哪里来？
我们是福州来的。
Okay, so you come from Fuzhou, and then this is your first time here. 你第一次来吗？
对，第一次过来。
and
对。
then how do you feel about this place? 你感觉这个地方印象如何？
就是传统一点吧，就是让中秋节，然后让小孩子，然后学一下中国的一些传统啊之类的。
Okay, so this is the Mid-Autumn Festival, so they're going to bring the kids over to learn about Chinese culture.
That's amazing.
That's lovely.
And what attracted them to Gulangyu to come here for the Mid-Autumn Festival?
So 为什么中秋节来鼓浪屿了呢？
就是刚好放假，然后小孩子学一些多文化的一些东西吧，刚好上小班，然后让他多接触一些东西。
So they have 3 days off, and the kids could learn something here, learn more on this island. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Thank you very much, and of course, enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Well, of course, we still have other teams traveling across China. Let's check in now with our team in the northeast, right?
That's right. It's Erica and Hui Yao.
Yeah, let's
This is very cold. I know they were in Wuchang, like in this morning, right, where they had this high quality rice, and they also enjoyed the rice. I envy them somehow, but we have the mooncakes later. So now Erica and Hui Yao take it over and show us what we have over there in the northeast.
right, well, hello everyone. I'm Erica Pizzi.
I'm Huiyao Cui Huiyao.
Is that your name?
Cui Huiyao.
Okay, perfect. Happy Mid-Autumn Festival to everyone, to our colleagues, other co-anchors along the other two routes. We are the Dongbei route, northeast route.
Where are we heading?
Dongbei, so I'm all excited about it.
Just throwing it out there, right?
I am, throwing out some Chinese. All right, so it's a bit rainy.
Yeah.
Still beautiful.
We're in the countryside.
Rural, super rural.
Super rural.
Much different from Harbin, where we were about 6 hours back. But now we're getting into the rice fields here.
Right. But we are heading on our way to Changchun, which is known for its film industry, the city with film, as well as the automobile industry. But as for now, we can still enjoy a lot of the rural sceneries, right?
Absolutely. And I think what we need to do is be talking about food.
Because that's what we just had.
We just had a great meal.
Oh my God.
A great countryside meal that you pointed out.
Called Dongbei, Nongjia Cai, that's the countryside food, which is so good because that's something you don't get at a normal Dongbei restaurant because it's so well cooked and everything's fresh, all the ingredients and all that. We enjoyed it.
I tried for the first time
the eel.
An eel.
An eel.
It had a head.
The little fish.
It had a head. I didn't eat the head. But yes, I ate it. I chewed it all up. Yeah. Just like my friend Li Yang told me to do here.
Right.
He said, get it in there, chew all the bones up.
Right.
And it's good stuff. And you were right. It was a little salty, but everything tasted really good. So we've got our guests here, Li Yang and Einar Tangen, with us to talk all about food. Let's talk first of all, though, about Heilongjiang Province, the specialties for this area. You grew up here. This is a Harbin, born and raised.
Basically, Heilongjiang's food is not really, belong to any particular school. But in the old days, before during and before the Cultural Revolution, food was kind of a ration.
Right.
During wintertime, we just store cabbages, potatoes, and sometimes, make our sauerkraut. All those are the things, for the winter. But in summer even, I remember, when I was a young kid, I would jump, queues, to buy, some kind of vegetable that was really extremely in short supply. But today, everything is different. But basically, Dongbei cuisine, typically are saltier. Okay, than the cuisine in southern China.
Right.
Yeah, and there are some recently. There are some kind of a newly developed, typical of Dongbei food, like a di san xian. It's kind of a dish cooked with 3 kind of vegetables like green pepper, eggplant, and potato.
Eggplant.
You deep fry them and then you throw in some kind of a sausage. Really tasty. This is very typical. If people coming from the other part of the city coming to Beijing, they would say, "Hey, do you have di san xian?" Which means the 3 very fresh, tasty, combination of vegetables, cooked in a dish.
And he said, throw the sausage in there. Harbin sausage.
Harbin, the best sausage.
That was one of the things. We talk about Chinese.
Harbin sausage really came. A lot was very heavily influenced by the Russians,
right,
and Germans who came through. There was a large migration of people, so that's what really enriches cultures. We talked a little bit about what the Korean side. The Koreans bring kimchi here and things like this.
But what's your favorite specialties in Northeast China, though? You must.
And also,
chicken
stew, right?
She was asking me.
Oh yeah,
okay. You're answering for me? No, actually, today when we were at the village, you remember the tofu they had, the skins? Those are handmade from local soybeans, grown in the village. It's so fresh. You really can't get anything like it.
And the fresh cucumbers and cabbages, dip it in the sauce and everything.
It's clearly countryside kitchen, but literally you saw the garden outside the restaurant. And you said
this is the beauty of Northeast China, right?
Well, it's also the epitome of farm to table.
This gets back to your point. There's no such thing as one Chinese food.
Oh, goodness. So all right. And this, I have to say this and just apologize on behalf of all Americans. Chinese food in America is absolutely
Panda Express.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
Are
God.
you kidding
Nothing
me?
to do with that. Chicken.
No, but it's like one dimensional, right?
Right.
That's what Americans are introduced to. It feels like. I mean, unless you get lucky with a super authentic restaurant in a Chinatown of a major city, but otherwise, you
get beef and broccoli, weird things like that. It's not weird to Americans, but like really strange to Chinese.
But it's not characteristic.
It's not
Well,
characteristic.
no, it doesn't express the variety.
exist.
It's going to Europe and going to France and Spain and saying, "Oh, European food." Oh, well, what does that mean?
Exactly. That's actually a really good way to put it.
Considering like China's just this vast land of territories, just like has such a diverse way of cooking things.
Let's just give them a kind of food tour. When you go down to the Southwest, spice.
Spice.
Big spice.
Yes.
Big spice.
Yeah.
And it goes with the culture, local culture.
Yeah. And they love hot pots and things like this. You go to Shanghai, it's soups.
Right.
It's a little bit sweet.
Everything's like
very mild,
very
delicate,
and
very delicate.
Very
yes.
delicate.
Oh,
we have those like.
Wait a minute, we have to talk about something here.
Oh, wait
because
no way.
So Hui Yao here is from Shanghai,
Yes,
and it's so funny. For the first time, I didn't even know this was a rivalry, but apparently there's noodle people and rice people.
Yes.
There's like a rivalry between noodles and rice. Tell me about this. Tell us.
What are you? Noodle
Okay,
or rice?
I'm definitely a rice person because I grew up eating rice, and I remember last time I was filming, like about the Yellow River in Shanxi Province.
Shanxi.
Right, that all they have for every single meal is noodles, and it drives me crazy because this is like.
Yeah, but you see, the noodle people say the same thing.
Say the
Why
same-
is this rice here?
Right?
We had a debate about it. We had a debate.
Is this like a holiday? We eat rice on the holiday.
Okay, nobody only eats rice for the entire meal, but people actually do get a bowl of noodles, and that's it for the meal. So the advantage for rice people is that you get a variety of dishes.
I think you're going to get some
the
blowback on
vegetables,
this. I think people are going to be saying, "Wait
I
a
think
second."
you're going to be better off if you are coming to Beijing, to Dongbei,
the Northeast, considering how good the rice is.
Dongbei people, they are open, straightforward, don't care about the details. There's one famous dish that is called 乱炖, all in one stew.
Really?
Everything, meat, potato, tomato.
Like there's Mexican, like tacos, and you just put everything in.
Yeah.
Everything in.
No, but I mean, the variety of foods. I mean, you could literally go on a food tour of China, and it would take you 10,
Right. And I
15
believe-
years. I mean, well, no, the reason is because, there's so much culture here.
Right.
Villages develop, like local languages. There's thousands of local languages.
Right.
And literally, you could have a village 10 miles from another village.
And
the
people won't be
language
able to understand each other.
No,
Right,
they use a
right.
trade language.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the same thing with their foods.
Yeah.
Their foods would be very different.
Right.
Same basic ingredients, but this would be this way, that would be that way, and very, very different. So at the length of time that it takes for these things to develop, very, very, it's one of the wonders of visiting China.
And the very moment as we speak, our colleagues in the southeast route, so Jianhua and Laney, are making some mooncakes apparently. So even for mooncakes, there's a rivalry thing, the Canton style, which is more sweet and sugary. They have all kinds of flavors. But whereas the Shanghai style, it's meat inside. So just like the xiaolongbao, the soup dumplings, where you have the fresh meat with the pork and a little bit of soup in it. It's all different. People are incredibly versatile.
Well, it's diversity, and this is
Yeah.
people think China is just one place. Everyone's Chinese. Everything's language, food, outlook. In the south, 6s are great. In the north, it's 8s and 9s and things like this. I mean, even lucky numbers change depending on where you are.
Yeah, I have to tell you, in the old days, there was no diversity to talk about. Only after 70 years of development of New China, we are able to have that kind of a diversity. I remember when I was a little kid.
And celebrate it, yeah.
Mooncake, just one type, rationed.
Yeah.
I cannot even have a complete one. We have to cut them into 4 pieces and it's shared by
That's
the
the traditional.
Not the
mooncake.
traditional. I think lack of supply.
So 70 years has really made a difference.
Yeah,
And that's the point, yeah.
Right. That is really, really a kind of big change.
And what's my favorite mooncake? It's the Haagen-Dazs mooncake.
Okay. Oh, you're so traditional.
Oh my God! They have the chocolate on the outside, and this vanilla with mango in it. They're like,
Yeah, but you see, this is what's so great about China. It's changing.
Yes.
Everything is constantly. If you wait 10 minutes, there's something new.
So it's like Western brands, tapping into this market and making their own version of mooncakes for Chinese consumers.
China is also international.
But it's going the other way now. You go to a Paris Fashion Week or New York Fashion Week, all of a sudden you're seeing the hot new designers are Chinese. Taobao has now rented a walkway in New York, which is only going to be for up-and-coming Chinese designers, and it's being mobbed. People are just all over it. So you see the interchange of cultures. This is what, it's so sad to see the world looking at each other as different when we just bring different things to the table, when you can combine them. I mean,
well, we talk about that term cultural exchange. We know that this is somewhat of a buzz term for the government, but I mean, it's the perfect way to describe exactly what needs to happen, what is already happening naturally, and the more and more we have modernization, technology, social media, my goodness, it just is a matter of fact that this is what makes the world a beautiful thing and brings us all closer. And then what? And then we get to actually
reap the benefit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you're reading my mind.
I'm reading your mind. Without cultural exchange, we wouldn't have had those, Russian cabbages. And if you went, go to Dalian, Jonathan Well with Xu Chen, it's a nice poor city that has the best Japanese food across the country. It's easy to understand why.
No, but this is the fascinating thing. You just go somewhere new and everything. It's like you were saying, Harbin. I had no idea.
I know.
This is a beautiful city.
You gotta go.
And you gotta, but and China is vast. It's the same size as a little smaller than the U.S. But the diversity of things that you find here are just incredible. Even in scenery, you go to these different provinces, down to the southwest, up in the northeast. And it's funny how sometimes the food is really indicative of perhaps character.
I was just going to say that. Leon was touching on that.
Dongbei, people say, oh, we're very strong, direct, straightforward, right? And the food, direct, straightforward.
Yeah, drink, direct, forward. They drink a lot. Yeah.
You do. You guys really do.
Yeah.
Well, it's an art.
The beer is good. Harbin beer is good.
Harbin beer is good.
It was quite good.
Baijiu is good.
Baijiu was very good.
We're for American terms, it would be Thanksgiving. The British don't have, I think, a similar thing. But this idea of getting together for this is the Harvest Festival. This is mid-autumn. This is where people get together and really, in essence, say thank you for getting us through a new season and prepare for the long winter that's
Would
to
you
come.
liken it to Thanksgiving then? Thanksgiving
Yes,
in
it
America?
is. I think this is a time to acknowledge the fruits of nature, to gather as a family. It's not about giving gifts. The mooncakes are very inexpensive. The boxes are more expensive.
Exactly.
That's another issue.
It's more of a cultural symbol thing.
Yeah, but but the family, you have to be together for that family. This is one of the times where you stress.
Why the shape of a mooncake is round? The moon, and means what? Completeness.
Right.
Like a full moon.
Yeah,
okay.
full moon. Union. The round things around is considered to be perfect.
Falls on the August 15th on the lunar calendar, and it dates back to Tang Dynasty. Think about how crazy is that? Like a festival that dates back thousands of years ago, and people are still celebrating it and carry out symbolic meaning.
But it's about human nature, giving thanks. You have Tomb Sweeping Festival, you have the New Year's, you have the Mid-Autumn Harvest Festival. These are the real times when families get together, very close, and try to acknowledge the bonds that are there.
Yeah.
And of course, family plays a very important role in pretty much every single culture in society. But to Chinese people, this idea of togetherness and reunion, and it's particularly important in grand occasions like this. Like, consider Mooncake Festival is actually the second grandest festival after the Spring Festival, which is the Chinese New Year. So it carries this symbolic and.
Here's my question about the Mooncake Festival, because, obviously for the Spring Festival, there's enough time for people who have, let's say, moved to the urban areas to work to then get all the way back to wherever their provinces that they came from, that they were born in. For Mooncake Festival, though, if you're going to have a family reunion, is it long enough for some people to get back to their families?
Not really.
No.
Not
If they
really,
live kind of
because
far away.
normally the holidays, number of holidays is much shorter.
So then what do you see? Do you see, because let's say like in America, Thanksgiving, it is the idea of reunion, but if you can't be with your family, you find friends, and you still celebrate in a way that's like gathering around the table
let
with
me
food
tell you what, when we are eating mooncake, we raise our head and look at the moon as if I am with somebody else, on the other side of the world, looking at the same moon. Okay, this is how family members get reunited if they cannot physically
you're
get together.
Your family members, it feels like they're still surrounding you, like even though you're not physically around with each other. It's like this.
Look at the same moon.
Across the globe, across the physical space.
But as you said earlier, I mean, it's something that is passed from generation to generation. And some mooncakes I don't particularly like. They have the egg kind. I know a lot of people like it. It's very salty. Not my taste. I actually prefer the more southern ones. But it's just the act of sharing, right? Getting people together. Even we talk about the diversity of China, and then there's something like this that brings it all back together again.
I love this idea. I mean, I feel like, though, I do see that sense. I mean, beyond the festival, just within Chinese families that I've gotten to know, of gathering around the table, even on just a regular night, whether it's on the weekend or whatever it may be. I went into the Guizhou Mountains, the Miao people.
Yeah.
They just, and that's a perfect example of farm to table, literally, right on their farm. And everything we ate that day was everything that, from their farm. And everyone gathered around, basically just like this. I mean, it's bigger, but it was a big stone. And it was this hot pot, just like a huge, incredible hot pot. And it was everyone sharing, and it was just all of us sitting on tiny stools around. It was fabulous. It was so...
It's very
heartwarming.
But so much of China, it's only been a few generations since people have been moving en masse into the cities. So they're used to this idea of very pure, very fresh foods. So when we're talking today about food security, right, this is actually full turn. People are now saying, I want the things that we had when my grandmother, when I visited my grandmother, and she would pull things out of her garden, and we would eat them right away. And it was just, the taste and the sensation is just unbelievable.
Well, all this talk just makes me all of a sudden hungry again.
I want a mooncake. We need to eat mooncake.
We gotta have mooncake in Chongqing, and we're gonna share it. I mean, family, We're family.
Yeah, we are a family.
Well, as you said, what we will do is we'll get our mooncake. We'll look up at the moon and think of those that we care about.
That we love around the world.
Our beloved ones.
I love it. All right, thank you both again. It was wonderful.
That was wonderful. I want to get some mooncakes now. As for now, our colleagues Tianhua and Landy are making some mooncakes, and they're on their way on the southeast route. And take it away, guys.
Yes, Erica and Huiyao, I think you are in my hometown right now, in Northeast right now, and of course we are saying that the mooncakes over there are different from what we have over here. And I think you are right, and the filling is abalone. This is very
really
special.
Strange. Yeah, fish, right?
Yeah, because this place is in South China, East China to be honest, right? And they have a lot of fish, different kinds of them, and they have abalone. But anyways, we're going to have that later.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Well, of course, this part of China does attract people from all over the world, and we've managed to make a few friends as we've been touring around. So let's say hello. Just tell us your name and where you're from.
Hello, I am Abel. I am from Spain.
Hi, Anna. I'm from Spain too. Hi, I'm Anna from Russia.
So we have two Annas.
Yes.
Oh.
And Anna, you say you've been living here for 4 years. What attracted you to Xiamen?
Xiamen is a very nice coastal city.
Yeah?
Yes.
And so what kind of work are you doing here, and how is it like engaging with the people from here?
Oh, local people here are very nice, and I work for a bus factory here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anna. So Anna and I and Anna, and so your name is Abel. Are going to get to know each other playing a game, which I believe you're going to explain, will help us understand.
Okay,
how to
well,
play
you
this
guys
game.
are playing this game, enjoying this game, and we're going to come to the culture part.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
go away now.
Go away now.
Okay, so tell us about the culture of this thing. the dice, rolling the dice, and this is something like gambling, right? It's called borbing in Chinese, I heard. So tell us something about it.
So this is a very traditional Xiamen activity during the Mid-Autumn Festival, because Xiamen people will just gather around, the family, the friends will just gathering together around the table to just throw out the dice, and the level of the prize depends on how many fours you get from all the 6 dices.
How many fours?
Yeah, so 1 4 means that you get the smallest prize.
But how come 4 is so important in this game?
Yeah, I think it may be the cutter, because the biggest prize during this activity is that you have 4 4 and 1 2 1. Yeah, so you can see all the red cutter. Usually we know Chinese people like the red cutter very much, so you will see the 4 and 1 all have the red cutter on them. Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. So let's have a look at what they're doing right now. So it is 1 4, right?
Yeah,
so what is it?
The smallest prize.
The smallest the prize. It's very easy to get a prize then.
Yeah.
So you go.
Okay, so what other things we have? I heard that we need 10 people. Usually we're going to have this game during the Mid-Autumn Day.
Yeah.
Okay, as a family. So 10 people?
Yeah.
So what is it? What does it mean?
Because usually when we have more people, the game will be more interesting. And also overseas Chinese, like the people, local people, overseas Chinese, they will also just gather the Chinese people from this area together to just enjoy this activity during the Mid-Autumn Festival. So the more people they will be more interesting game it is.
Okay, the more the merrier.
Yeah,
I think that's the... Okay, so we have someone who is in this red clothing. So what is this? Can you tell us something about that too?
And this outfit actually represents the biggest prize.
The biggest prize, and we're going to have this, right?
Yeah, it just represents that, because we know that traditional Chinese exam system, we have one that has the highest score. So this outfit just represents the highest score in the exam system, but also we can just use this figure in this traditional activity of Xiamen.
Okay, so this is very much a symbolic, right?
Yeah,
this is top prize in the examinations in the past. Okay, so how is it going on here? Let's talk to our friends here. You have got a fan.
I got a fan
and a keychain.
I got a keychain.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Anna over here is our big winner. Look at her.
Everyone has got something here. Let me.
Yeah, it's your turn. Give it a try.
Myself. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the tail. That is 1. I'm gonna have this keychain, right?
That's
okay.
So it's very easy to get one if you just.
That's very easy to get one. I think. You don't have enough gifts here.
So the meaning of this game is that the fun, that's the prize you get. You're also cheering up by this prize. Yeah, that's the meaning, and also the gathering from so many members. Let you know, it will be so much fun in this festival.
So do we always have something like this? During the Mid-Autumn Day, and then you're going to prepare. And you said it's going to be a family event, right?
Yes.
You have like 10 people, and the family members will prepare the gifts or something. It's very much like Christmas, and you have prepared some gifts under the tree.
That's the Mid-Autumn Festival, very important for Chinese, also very important for Xiamen people, because sometimes it's like Spring Festival. People will come from the other cities, come back to their hometown to make a family gathering. Exactly like the Thanksgiving in US.
Yeah, and I also heard that this is the part of the Hokkien culture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is related to Taiwan. What they have over there, so they have the same thing there.
Yeah, but usually for the southern Hokkien province, because for the northern, we know that Fujian province has so many different parts, but for the southeastern part of the Fujian province, we have this kind of activity. Outside this area, it won't be so familiar with the people there.
No, really, this is pretty strange to me.
Yeah. Yes.
That's very easy. Okay.
We've been talking about mooncakes all day. I think it's about time we tasted them, right?
Finally, we have been talking about mooncakes starting the morning around 7 or something, right? And then finally, I have some mooncakes, and Erica and Huiyao, I think you're totally right, because what they have here is really different from what I was expecting all this time.
Oh, wait, we have a big winner over here.
A big winner. 3. Let's go 3. Okay.
Ooh.
What is it? What is it?
That looks really special.
Yeah, it's a huge box.
Wow.
Who is that?
You.
It's a beautiful teacup, right? Can I?
That's
take it out?
amazing.
Can I? Okay. It's for
This is
tea,
really
right?
nice, eh?
Yeah, very elegant. Oh, sorry.
But we're all winners, guys, deep down.
We're all winners deep
winners.
down.
We might not have equal prizes.
That's really
but we're
beautiful.
all
This is
winners.
lotus, I'm thinking, but a little bit sharp and pointy over here.
Not easy to
right?
drink from here.
Yeah,
But it's
enjoy
very
your tea, Your Honor. Lovely.
Fantastic.
Okay,
And
I
that's-
think we are
it's the
running out of
perfect,
time.
accompaniment, isn't it? With mooncake,
Yeah.
a cup of tea.
A cup of tea, and we're gonna
Right,
have
so
some
let's give it a try.
mooncake
I'm not so 100% sure. I want to try an abalone one. Is there
here.
another option?
Abalone, yeah, that is very strange and special, but we have got something else. This one is egg yolk, I think.
Egg yolk, and this one?
This one is cheese.
I want to try cheese then.
Okay, me too.
Okay. Yeah.
At least it's sweet. Abalone is very strange. But no offense, of course. I'm not a big fan of seafood in the first place. It's me. So we're gonna have cheese and coffee, is it? You wanna try it?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Though we're running out of time, still we should have this as promised.
Oh, this is coffee.
Yeah, it's just
The
coffee.
cappuccino one.
Yeah, it's special now. Yeah, around
Great
4
stuff.
o'clock, right?
Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us today on day 5 as we explored Gulangyu Island. It's time for us to eat. I guess we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, that's right. And finally, we have some mooncakes today. And I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye.
In 70 years, China has undergone unprecedented transformation. From its old industrial base in the northeast to its new manufacturing powerhouse in the southeast and to its emerging southwest. CGTN offers you a panoramic view of contemporary China. Our crews will travel along 3 different routes and come to you live from dozens of locations and 3 mobile studios. Join us for an all-inclusive look at China on our TV channel and digital platforms, September the 9th to the 20th. It is New China, then and now, in celebration of the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China, only on CGTN.